this foundation started, as you said, by my father in 1981 after my mother passed away.
Right.
And it was her thought before, she left, was that she used to feel really hurt that my father brought her to New York for treatment. And she kept telling him that, it's only because you could afford it and you are so and so that you got me here and trying to save my life because you love me. But imagine, there are millions of people in our country who love their wives, their mothers, their sisters the same way you do, but are unable to even, think about this kind of treatment. Because of lack of money, because of lack of awareness, they lose their loved ones.
Yeah.
And I think that is the thought that went behind the Nagris Dutt Foundation.
Right.
And my father, took it upon himself, and we set up the foundation in New York actually first, where we started raising funds. Then we had various chapters in the United States. We had one in UK, Germany. Wherever my father had Indian friends, they set up a chapter.
Yeah.
What they used to do is raise funds and send equipment. We never got money from there. We equipped rural hospitals with cancer treating and cancer diagnostic equipment.
Okay.
Now, those were the areas where people never even thought or didn't even know what cancer was at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember the first Tata Memorial we started working with, and Tata Memorial at that time didn't have a ICU.
Yes.
And it was with Nargis Dutt Foundation's funds that they initiated the whole program of the ICU. Therefore, the ICU in Tata Memorial is named after my mother.
Right. Okay.
And the first bone marrow transplant done in the country was through the Nagris Dutt Foundation.
Hey, hi. Everybody who knows me knows that I have two rules. No politicians and political talks, and no religion on my show or on my social media. But I couldn't resist this one. This one is not just a politician. The person I'm going to meet right now is also a social worker, a social changer, and someone who has caught the hearts of plenty and plenty of people. Not because she's just a esteemed politician's daughter, and carries a great legacy, of course, but someone who is so relatable. If you don't believe me, you'll find out just now. I'm going to take you right now to my couch. Come with me, stay with me, and admire some beauty until then.
They say that with great power comes great responsibility. Now, history has shown, and the current times as well, that responsibility and power don't really go together, or it seems to be a fine balance where people don't really get it right. There are few people, of course, who are exceptions to this rule. And some of them can balance and walk this thin line of power and responsibility so well with charm, poise, and being a wonderful person. Today I have Priya Dutt, and let me introduce her to you as my guest, and I'm very honored to have her here with me on my show, on my virtual couch. Hi, Priya.
Hi, Kainas. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being there. Thank you. That was very, very sweet of you. I was like really charmed by you from the first hello.
That's so sweet.
To be honest, I've always wanted to meet you. I have seen you pass by and always, came to say, oh, I want to say hi to Priya. I want to say hello to Priya, because there's something that is really different about you. You're very approachable. You're extremely accessible.
Yeah, thanks.
That's what I've heard from people, that if there's anything that people need, they can, come forth and actually talk to you. But before we get into that, Priya, I wanted to know this whole legacy that you have, you are a part of. It's an immense it's an immense legacy. There's nothing that, there's no two ways about it. Being from a family, having the respected Mr. Sunil Dutt, who who did not, he didn't belong to any particular thing. People everywhere loved him. He had that innate, beautiful quality about him. Even we knew him as kids, and there was nothing that I heard that was anything off about Mr. Sunil Dutt. And of course, a mother that is, I'm too small to talk about her, but she is like the mother of India. She is the Nagris Dutt. So carrying this torch, is obviously a legacy to carry forward, and something that will never be extinguished. How has it been for you? Did you get completely into it by choice, or was it like a decision that was made for you, or it just happened because you were pretty close to your father? I've heard years that you was very fond of him. So what is it like growing up, and how did you get into your political field and all the other things that you do?
Yeah, so first of all, it was my parents, and how you've described them as, when we were growing up, we knew nothing about them and how big they were, or they were such big stars, or my mother was this big star. So we grew up very normally, and I think that's thanks to my parents, who never exposed us too much to, their work life or who they were and things like that. We were brought up very grounded, very sorted, saying that, listen, this is who we are. We are just like any other family.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about you. And therefore, you have to go through the grind as everyone else.
Right.
So we grew up with that. And I think that really helped us being whom we are today. And so when you asked me this question about, did I prepare myself to get into politics or the work I was doing?
Yes.
I never did, really. I was like any other college kid who was so oblivious of what was happening around me. And, the biggest problems we had at that time were fights with our friends, or someone's boyfriend had a fight with that one's, his girlfriend, and, those kind of issues. Yeah. And beyond that, there was nothing much which we wanted to know. I mean, I find kids today much more aware. I think during, when we were growing up, we didn't have this exposure to so much of television, social media, and bombardment of information. But a lot of stuff changed for me when I accompanied my father to Amritsar on a Padyatra during the time when Punjab was burning. And it was, we were hearing so many different stories about what is happening in Punjab, like I said, but we were so cut off. And my father decided one fine day that I'm going to go take a peace march from Mumbai to Amritsar. And we all thought he had gone crazy.
Yeah. Can imagine.
And he said, well, like in a week's time, he prepared everything. And he said, I don't care. I'm going because I do not believe that people whom we call terrorists, they are our own children. They are our own countrymen. I don't think, he's saying there is nothing that can't be solved with just some talks, love, and respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he went with that thought, and everybody thought, it was, I remember the press saying like, oh God, what is this? He's going to come back and this and that. And I had not prepared to go with him till the day he left.
Oh.
And I couldn't sleep all night. And I said, I would want to accompany my dad, not because of anything. For me, it was an adventure.
Okay.
An adventure I could never have.
How old were you then?
Again.
How old were you? Sorry.
I was in my last year college, so I think I was 18. Because so I missed a couple of years of college. Once when my mom was sick, I missed my 1 year of education. So I was third year, Sophia College, and I told my father, I'm also going to join you. And he said, if you're going to join me, you better see to it that you come back and complete your education, not that you're trying to miss exams and come with me. And take permission. So I went, took permissions from my teachers, and I think I have to thank them because, when I told my teachers I'm going to join my father, they said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. And nothing a college or school can teach you what you're going to learn when you're there. So it was quite amazing. So that journey of 78 days and 2,800 kilometers which we walked kind of changed my perspective, my perception of everything around me.
Right.
and really gave me a complete different perspective about the country.
Okay.
We passed through so many states and saw every state was so different from the other, the culture, the clothes, the language, the food.
Yes.
It was amazing. It's truly amazing.
Yeah.
And I think from then on, I started really working and becoming more aware of myself, my environment,
Yeah.
working with my father. But intention of getting into politics was never.
Right.
And in fact, after I came back from the Padyatra, there was a lot of speculation, press, and oh, this is a first stepping stone to get into politics,
Yeah,
and
usually.
all that stuff happened, and that really kind of upset me, and I went into a shell. I said, why is it that everything I want to do
Yeah.
is it turns out to be that there is an ulterior motive to it
Yeah. Yeah.
when there isn't,
Yeah.
you know. So I was basically a very shy kid, and I didn't want to be in the limelight. I never wanted to be out there. I wanted to be, free to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is how my life kind of.
Studied media arts as well, right? You studied media arts in New York.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did that as
yeah.
well. So that is obviously you were a different direction.
I
That
was in a different. Yeah, I wanted to be a documentary filmmaker because I thought I could tell a lot of stories
Mm,
and bring out what is the fact,
yeah.
and reach out to people that way.
People know you as a politician, but they also know you as a humanitarian. That is something that I have, it's I being in the same place and living in Mumbai. The whole concept of Priya Dutt is that she is a great person, and you can go up to her, and she has this. She runs and she has this foundation called the Nargis
Yeah,
Dutt Memorial Charitable Organization Foundation and
that
Trust.
was fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can, and for cancer patients, and of course for education. So I've
Yeah.
always wanted to know, and this trust, it supports cancer patients, yes, but you all go out to the rural areas, you're spreading awareness. Now, whether you've been on the chair or not, you have continued to do this work. It's not,
Sure. Yes.
yes, ये सालों में, ये होना है तो अभी करना है, कि ये दिखाना है तो ये. It is, this is your baby, this is your thing, which
Correct.
dad has started, of course, probably
Yeah.
in 81, in memory of
Yeah.
mother. So you've taken
Yeah.
it forward, and it is something that has stayed with you. I think it is a part of you. So, what is this foundation really all about, and what is the, I just really intrigued to know that. What?
So this foundation started, as you said, by my father in 1981 after my mother passed away,
Right, right.
and it was her thought before she left was that she used to feel really hurt that my father brought her to New York for treatment, and she kept telling him that it's only because you could afford it and you are so and so that you got me here and trying to save my life because you love me. But imagine
Lots of.
there are millions of people in our country who love their wives, their mothers, their sisters the same way you do, but are unable to even think about this kind of treatment. Because of lack of money, because of lack of awareness, they lose their loved ones.
Yeah.
And I think that is the thought that went behind the Nargis Dutt Foundation. And my father, took it upon himself, and we set up the foundation in New York actually first, where we started raising funds. Then we had various chapters in the United States. We had one in UK, Germany. Wherever my father had Indian friends, they set up a chapter.
Yeah.
What they used to do is raise funds and send equipment. We never got money from there. We equipped rural hospitals with cancer treating and cancer diagnostic equipment.
Okay.
Now, those were the areas where people never even thought or didn't even know what cancer was at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember the first Tata Memorial we started working with, and Tata Memorial at that time didn't have a ICU.
Yes.
And it was with Nargis Dutt Foundation's funds that they initiated the whole program of the ICU. Therefore, the ICU in Tata Memorial is named after my mother.
Right. Okay.
And the first bone marrow transplant done in the country was through the Nagris Dutt Foundation. And we also helped with sending doctors to the United States, as in, for training from Tata Memorial.
Okay.
And nearly 100 rural hospitals were equipped with this. cancer care equipment.
Okay.
And through the years, we've continued to help cancer patients with their chemotherapies, hand holding them through their journey of cancer. Many people kind of don't know much about the foundation because we haven't been that
Yeah.
um, vocal about it, or we haven't tried to get publicity from it. We
That's,
haven't tried to go out there and,
yeah.
but one thing I want to make clear that it is not the Dutt family's foundation. This foundation runs with donations of people who believe in us,
Right.
who believe that our work is really for the betterment of society.
Okay.
So it is not my foundation, it's not my brother's foundation or my sister's foundation. I can say I am a chairperson of the foundation and I run the foundation. And I can very proudly say that all the donations that come in, earlier, 100% used to go because it used to come directly for the equipment from the US. When we set up here and started doing health and education, we spend 95% of all the donations that come on the projects.
Right.
And it's just 5%, which is our administrative cost, because we have our
Yeah.
employees working and looking at the projects and etc.
Of course.
So I realized now in the few years which we've been working on ground, we had never raised funds in India.
Yeah.
That it is now important to start raising funds in India.
Yeah.
And we started that about 10 years ago, and realized it was a very, very difficult thing to do.
Of course.
But we slowly built, slow and steady. We, really, people started having faith and trust in us with our transparency, and they saw our work. And that's when we had to really start using social media, start talking about it, so people get to know more about the Nagris Dutt Foundation and its work.
Yeah.
So we educate more than about 200 school children. We've got a Sunil Dutt scholarship program for higher education, which has about 50 kids. And so we believe in hand holding a child once we take them on right to the completion.
Right.
Or the same way for a patient where cancer is concerned.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of cancer awareness camps all through India.
Yes. Yeah. Remarkable. Thank you for all that. That was something to, I would love the viewers to, know that every show of mine, I like viewers to take back something from it. And this is something which is actually, for me, it's a very compassionate, very empathetic thought, where you actually reach out to people, and it's a daily ongoing thing. It's not like you do it once and you say, okay, you know what,
No.
I've done it. No, it's like every day you have to put yourself, give up a lot of your free time to do all these things. Are your siblings involved in this as well, or is it just you who's completely?
So my siblings are very supportive. My brother is supportive, but the day-to-day running is what I do, and for me, this is my passion really.
Yeah.
Working with people, working hands-on with people, really creating that impact. So after I lost my elections, in fact, I dove deeper into this, because when I was a member of parliament, I couldn't do much. And now for me, this is my full-time work.
Yeah.
And I love every minute of it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It's a calling, isn't it? It's something that you.
It is. It is.
Definitely is. Yeah. Talking about, is there anything that I was always like, is there anything that bonds, something similar that gels you and your siblings, which y'all have picked up from your family? Like there's one thing in common that y'all have. Is there something that you'll all do it just the same way? Is there something like that?
I think all three of us are very different, but you're right.
Yeah.
I think it is, there is this thing that all of us come together as one when there is a problem in the family.
That's
important. And I think, that is something I think we've been, again, thanks to my father.
Yeah.
And not that we've seen huge amounts of ups and downs. And I think that he has instilled in us that no matter what we go through in life,
Yeah.
ups, downs, and there will be a lot of downs, but that doesn't mean it should finish us.
Yeah.
Because whenever there is a bad phase, that too passes.
That too should pass.
And it's important to be together and give strength to each other at that time.
Yeah.
So I think that is something which we have learned to do. We give each other a lot of space because we all have our families. My brother has his, my sister has hers, I have mine. We give each other that space, but we know that we are always there for each other.
Course, yeah. And I'm sure
Yeah.
people are also looking forward to you coming back at some point whenever you are more
Well,
comfortable. So there's a lot that you're waiting to do now after the economic structure. Was like, now I'm going to, maybe you'll be back with a bang or something, which I feel that you could.
I know I'm not even looking forward to. I just believe that it's so important to make space for the younger generation, and you don't have to be.
Yeah.
I gave 15 years of my life.
Yeah.
Okay, prime time of
Prime
my
time.
life.
Prime. Absolutely.
And I think I gave it my best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think, and I think that is the time people should really are able to give their best.
Right.
They're in that phase of their lives. And I feel it's important that the younger generation comes up and really contributes to make this country a better place, and I think it's important. If I have to sit back and say I'm going to keep coming back, I think people will also be very fed up of me.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, the younger generation have literally taken over. With
And it's
like, I'm like really grasping for hashtags of their YOLO and their YOLO, and I'm like, God, what is all this?
I think the next election is going to be on social media. You won't need to go campaigning anywhere except if you are good with social media.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, really.
So this was the first segment, which was called Scripties on my show, and the second is coffee, chai, or cocktails. Usually, I have my cocktails. Today, I have my chai cup, and you get to choose which one would you like, and accordingly, I'll put the questions forth to you. So, what would you like to choose, and what would you like to have with me after the lockdown? Even if you don't want to have it with me, just say yeah. I'm gonna.
A cup of coffee is great for me.
Coffee?
Coffee.
Yeah, me too. Like coffee time, anytime.
Coffee person.
Yeah, me like all the time, like everywhere. Coffee, an obsession.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get you a few questions. So
sure.
For the coffee chai,
I'm ready.
Great.
Yes.
If there was a book or film on your life, what would it be called? Now I know that you're an avid reader. So if there was a book on your life, or then a film as well, what would it be called according to you?
I've been actually thinking about it, and I've not yet come down with a title for it.
Okay.
I haven't really come with a title for it. I'm not sure. I think it could be a tagline which my father used to use, that a poetry. Many miles to go. No.
Oh yeah, many miles to go before you sleep. Yeah.
Yes.
There are miles to go before I sleep. Robert Miles. No, my God,
Robert Miles. Yeah. Many miles to go before I sleep.
One thing India has that no other country has and never will.
The diversity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think any other country has the diversity we do.
Yes.
And yet, in that diversity, we are one.
Yeah.
I think that is something which is so special about this country.
Yeah, foreigners and people abroad don't understand. They're like, how many languages? How do you all get on? What do you do? I'm like, we manage. Really? We just manage.
And I hope we can keep it that way. That's most important.
That is most important.
And I think people must realize that this is one of the greatest qualities of our country.
Yeah.
And what every other country who's supposed to be, it could be America, Russia, wherever, will always look up to us for this.
Yeah, for this particular thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diverse.
And that with that diversity comes in spirituality and everything else, right?
Everything else. They love it.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
yoga and this meditation. It's like
Everything. Yeah.
everything that is us. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, the third one. Since traveling is something you completely enjoy, which destination do you
Mhm.
take off to next once this pandemic is over? Like you just zoom off next without thinking. Bags packed, out.
Maldives. Peace, quiet.
Yeah, you like the peace and quiet.
Yeah. I love the ocean, and Maldives is a very I love diving. So I'm a scuba diver,
Oh wow.
and I did that when I was I think maybe 25 years back or something. I was 18, 19, or maybe 20 something,
Yeah.
and I did my certificate course, and yeah, I was a certified diver at that time. So I'm just dying to go back
Again.
diving,
Yeah.
and
So if we don't find you in Mumbai, it's Maldives next.
every Maldives.
Okay. So now we do some true or false, or yes or no. Okay, just in one. Okay? Politics and ethics can go hand in hand.
Yes, I believe so.
True. There are times when I question if I'm in the right place.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
There are
There are
times
times.
when I question if I am in the right place.
Yes, I do. Many times.
I'm doing all day. Like, where am I? Okay, there should be this is one of my own thoughts, which obviously I'm asking you. There should be a visa to enter Mumbai.
There should be a visa to enter Mumbai. Well, I think that's the thought for many people, but no.
Okay. So, what does break free, the name of my show, mean to you? If I had to say break free, what does it mean to you?
I think this is very apt for me because I think breaking free is breaking free in your mind.
Yeah.
You get caged and you get caught up with the do's and don'ts of society,
Yeah.
which you grow up with, right?
Right. Yeah. Of
You
course.
you grow up with a condition, where the society has conditioned you that you are supposed to do this or you're supposed to do that.
Yes.
That's not right. This is wrong. All those things you grew up with. I think breaking free is breaking free from those shackles.
Yes. Totally. Yeah. Because
Yes.
you're conditioned, stereotypes that we've all built up so much through the years.
Yeah. I think it's sooner or later, people do find their true selves.
Definitely.
Even when you're conditioned to be brought up in a certain way, you see so many cases and so many stories of women who've been brought up in very conservative villages, homes, or whatever. But out of them, you will find one out of 1,000 of them, or 1,000 of them who break free of those chains and make something out of their life, or really transform their lives.
Yeah.
So I always feel that there is sooner or later people do find their true selves.
Yeah.
And if they're able to break that,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and break free from that, you can go any place.
Stop them. Yeah. Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. Yes. Yeah.
So this was great. I think you have done tremendously well for the few questions that I posed to you. I tried not to make them too cheeky. So we can have a coffee after the lockdown, and you can just say yes.
Definitely. We will definitely meet up for a coffee when you're here.
Anyways, I see you around. I'm just going to say, hey, it's me now, coffee. I don't know you. What's wrong with you? Anyways, the third segment, Priya, is digital drama. Now, usually here I talk about social media handles, but no one has to go find you, and I don't have to announce your handles, though I will in my content.
Right.
So I have done a small little fun thing for you. because we had this interview, which is almost impromptu, I put it up on my page and I asked people what they would like to ask you. So some of people who really like you and someone who, obviously who are your fans as well. Because as I told you that, you have like, when I say your name and Priya Dutt, it's like, it's an empowering woman, a woman of substance, someone who's like, yeah, it definitely is. And that you got to know that. So when I said that, quite a few people sent me a few questions. I've taken out like 3 of them. So it doesn't, so I'm going to answer what they said. Okay. There's one from Dr. Janvi. Okay. She said that, ma'am, if you were not a politician, what would you be?
I would be exactly who I am today, a social worker.
Social worker.
I would be working in the field, maybe in a NGO, running my own NGO that I'm doing now.
Yes.
I'm a people's person, so I like working with people.
Okay.
I like making a difference somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a doctor, because I think doctors really, make that difference. But I don't think I could study that hard to become a doctor. So, so Janvi, I could have been a doctor.
Yeah.
But no, but I think I would be working with.
You are the right place.
Doing what I do right now. Yes.
Okay, great. If your kids asked you to choose for them, yes, either they wanted to be an actor or a politician. This is from Affairs. Affairs, yeah. Affairs said that they wanted to. They asked you to choose for them actor or politician. Which one would you choose? Only one. If they
for him,
for the kids, for your kids.
Oh, I wouldn't choose anything for them. I think it's important they choose for themselves. So I can only guide them.
Yeah.
And but no, I will not choose anything for them.
You will not choose anything for them. Okay. This is let the kids fly. Make their own choices.
Yes, definitely.
Totally.
They should be happy doing what they do.
It's so important. Yeah, it's so important. Like, I can't imagine if our families or someone really told us exactly what to do. That would be
what to do, yeah. Exactly.
Like, there are people who go through that, I mean, we are touchwood very lucky to live in the city and in our urban life, but most people. No,
I really feel that's so important. I mean, there are some kids I see are so talented, but are not able to pursue that. Absolutely. Because of other. So
a lot of expectations from them completely.
Too much of expectation. Too much of
Yeah.
I think we burden our children with too much. Too much of responsibility, having to perform. Too much of expectation from them. I think you just need to let them be. Be that guide for them and just let them be.
Third one from Arnold, and he says he's from Bandra, and he says, back in Par, what's the first thing you would change? If back in Par, I mean, I guess he means you're back in your in Par or in the chair. What's the first thing you would change?
If I'm back in power.
Yeah, you were the first thing that you would change. I guess he means that, yeah, Arnold.
Arnold, there's not much that you can really change. You can only give it your best shot and work a different way.
Yeah.
And, the power that you speak of as a member of parliament is I only represent my constituency. So my job becomes to hear what people have to say, to listen to what their problems are, and try and solve their problems as much as I can. And so able to address these issues, whatever the issues of the constituency are. And that is the power which we work with.
Yeah.
And the power of being able to make that change, effect change in our the constituency, in our voters and in their lives.
Yeah.
And I've always endeavored to do that when I was a member of parliament.
Yes. Absolutely. In fact, listening to someone, I think, goes a long way. I think whether you do something 100% for them or not,
yes,
even listening.
It's very important. Yeah. And I think they also know that we as politicians or a member of parliament or whatever have limitations. But I think it is still so important to listen
Yeah.
to what their issues are, guide them. If case you can't do something, at least guide them in the right direction.
Yes.
So I think there are we yeah, I think you need to look at politics in a more that whole word politics has changed in the minds of people so many times. From hating politicians to adoring politicians to you know the there are a lot of these things, but all politicians are not too bad.
Yeah.
So I think we should get that out of your head. And once people are aware of their own rights and people are aware of what their power is,
Yes.
then I think the power will remain in your hands rather than in someone else's.
Right. Okay, so
Yeah.
we got a very, very expansive and wonderful answer. So I hope Anu's happy. And Priya, this was the last round. And all I want to say is that to our audience and to our viewers, as what you can take back is you are a politician with a golden heart. This is something that I know and I personally feel. And let's take back that everybody is not the same. And not the same. It's how we look at them as well. And to actually wish you best of luck in whatever you wish to do, and all your future endeavors. I'm completely, I've already said the word honored. So I'm completely actually speechless that you have come on my show. You have made Break Free, taken it to a different level. And I really thank you for that. It is super to talk to you. Warm, absolutely warm, and I don't have words. So as you can see, it's really, really something else. Thank you so much for being on Break Free.
Thank you so much, Kainaz, and I wish you all the best with your program Break Free. And
thank you
I
so
know
much, everyone. Please check out Priya's all social media profiles, and you post a lot on Twitter as well. And yeah, you do post a lot on Twitter also, and
yes,
and please follow the Nagris Dutt Memorial Foundation and
Foundation. It's called Nagris Dutt Foundation. Yeah.
Okay. And please do that. And thank you so much, Priya, once again. Lots and lots of love.
Thank you, Ken. And thank you very much.
It's to you, and I hopefully you'll see.
Thank you very much.
somewhere
Thank you.
in Mumbai. Bye.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye. All the best. Bye bye. Now, I think I really made the best out of my time.
Yeah.
Because I kind of in my time I worked, and when my kids came home, I was with them.
Yes.
We did stuff together, and snacks, the other, dinner together.
Yeah.
And I took up painting.
Oh. Wow.
So and I took up painting and drawing, so that I would give some time to that as well as a hobby. I have 3 dogs, which I love a lot.
I believe so.
And yes, and I'm a big animal lover and always encourage people to adopt rather than buy.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I have 3, and now all 3 are adopted babies, and so I've all so my whole day goes in this.
Yeah.
I think it is still so important to listen to what their issues are, guide them. If case you can't do something, at least guide them in the right direction.
Yes.
So I think there are I think you need to look at politics in a more that whole word politics has changed in the minds of people so many times. From hating politicians to adoring politicians to so there are a lot of these things, but all politicians are not too bad.
Yeah.
So I think we should get that out of your head. And once people are aware of their own rights and people are aware of what their power is, then I think the power will remain in your hands rather than in someone else's.